Good afternoon to everybody joining us. Welcome to Live at the Waterhole with myself, Chad Hobson. We don't have anybody on camera. Welcome to Live at the Waterhole, everybody. I hope you're looking forward to the next 2 hours as we jump all over the show to all different locations. Once again, just a reminder that this is a live and interactive show, so please do send through your questions and comments using the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter, or you can join the conversation on our YouTube channel, or if you would like to subscribe, you can then do so on our website, or even better, download the WildEarth app on any of the app stores. So we are starting at Victoria Falls Safari Lodge up in Zimbabwe, where we've got two beautiful elephant bulls that have come down to the water to have a drink. Also a few vultures that are spending time around. I did also see a marabou stork. It seems like these elephants have just come down for a quick drink, and now they're moving on quite swiftly. Oh, it looks like there's a crocodile. It's maybe taken the remains of that carcass. Here we are back at the Vulture restaurant. Look at that, it's a feeding frenzy. See who can get in there first. You've got to be extremely fast to get into whatever food that was laid out there for the vultures, because as you can see, there's lots and lots and lots of vultures. Also one marabou stork that's wandering around there. Quite amazing just to watch these vultures as they do feed. I mean, it's also quite incredible to see how fast vultures are able to clean carcasses and things like that. I mean, say for instance, like wild dogs will kill an impala and they'll feed on it. There's still quite a lot of scraps that the wild dogs do leave. And as soon as they've left that carcass, the vultures come in, and literally within minutes, that carcass is completely clean. You can see here it's mostly the white-backed vultures that are in the middle. They're a little bit bigger compared to the hooded vultures. The much smaller vultures that you can see almost on the outskirts of this little group. And there's actually a vulture hierarchy. So, I mean, the lappet-faced vulture being the biggest vulture, and all the way down to the hooded vulture. So often the hooded vultures get basically the scraps of the scraps. I mean, being a lot smaller, they don't actually need too much food to keep them energized. And those vultures will also feed on sometimes even scat from lions, leopards, hyenas, things like that. Even little termites, insects. So, I mean, they can survive on the bare minimum. Whereas those bigger vultures, they're going to need a little bit more sustenance. Sandy Franklin 69, good morning to you. Thanks once again, Sandy, for always tuning in to Live at the Waterhole or the live safaris and continuously sending through your questions. I can hear the African fish eagle that's calling off in the distance also. Beautiful call. But literally you can see there, whatever they were feeding is done now. I mean, they're all trying to fight off maybe the last little scraps that might be around there. But it is nice to have a vulture restaurant just like this one to try and keep the vultures within an area, because sometimes you find that in farmlands and things, if cattle die, they might have been poisoned for some reason. And then if the vultures do eat that cattle or scavenge off the carcass, they then will often get also poison. They'll digest that poison and then also die. And vultures are very vulnerable. They're on the vulnerable list. So it's nice is that more and more vulture restaurants, we call them, that people are using. And often what they do feed them is carcasses from maybe butchers and things like that. They've taken off all the necessary parts that they're going to process for us to eat. And so, I mean, it could be things like maybe wildebeest, impala, cows, things like that. Penny Burns is saying, wow, that's a lot of vultures. It is indeed. Lots and lots of vultures. And nice to see the different types of vultures also. I mean, it was amazing to see as soon as the man did feed them, how they all came in to eat. And now they almost seem to, some of them just wander off on their own. Maybe they'll take flight and go around the area, see if there is any more food that they are able to scavenge. I mean, being quite a hot day, and there will be lots and lots of thermals. So that's when the hot air is rising, and these vultures will use those thermals and catch them up, and then use the hot air to just glide and fly around and see if they can find any more food. And they've got extremely good eyesight, and if they do see anything, they'll often then dive down and go and investigate. Taxi lady, you are wondering what the man was feeding them. So, I mean, it will be offcuts from carcasses that I'm sure the kitchen would use, maybe at the lodge. So, for instance, they get an Impala carcass. Whatever they're not then using, they'll throw down. I mean, there you can see there's a couple of vertebrae from something smallish. So maybe something like an Impala. Simon Mocheno, you're saying too many vultures. Can they smell from far distances? Simon, they do have a very, very good sense of smell. So, I mean, vultures, they've got also very big eyes, so they're able to see huge, far distances. But they are also then able to smell. If they can pick up, often the smaller carcasses like impalas, they don't last too long, but if there's something like a dead elephant or dead buffalo that's there for a while, often then they would be able to pick up the scent of that and follow it. Especially if it's quite a windy day, I can only imagine that they'll be able to pick up the scent. I mean, there you can see these hooded vultures. They've got much smaller beaks compared to all the other vultures, and I mean, that allows for them to get to areas where the bigger whiteback vultures, as you can see in picture now, they won't be able to get that larger beak of theirs. I mean, I was just speaking about the hierarchy of vultures. The lappet-faced vulture is the biggest vulture, and if vultures found a carcass, say for instance like a dead buffalo or dead elephant, those lappet-faced vultures have extremely big beaks, and they are used to open up the carcass. So a lot of the times you'll find vultures just sitting perched around the carcass waiting for those lappet-faced vultures to open up the carcass and then let the feeding frenzy begin. I mean, something like a hooded vulture, if you look here, you can see that their bill is very, very small compared. I think that was pretty special to see all these vultures feeding. I'm sure they are going to continue just picking the last little remains off the skeleton there. But we're going to stay at Vic Falls. We're going to just switch up the angles to the waterhole, see what's happening there. Sure, that looked a little bit scary, whatever was going on there, but it does seem like it's a crocodile with a kill, some bird. I wonder if it might maybe be a vulture that the crocodile's taken. How incredible is that? Almost looks like oh, there goes the death roll. looked like the crocodile was death rolling there. And the death roll, what the crocodile do is, if it does kill, oh, it might even be a marabou stork. If the crocodile does kill something, there seems like there's another crocodile there. Maybe there'll be a bit of a fight between them. I'll get back to the death roll now. It was pretty amazing sighting this. Lots of action already. So the death roll, what happens is that crocodile will often catch something. So now, for instance, this bird, it will leap out, catch the bird, and then when it takes it underwater, it will actually then spin around and around and around and around. And it's often then to try and drown their prey. Almost also get a little bit disorientated. They keep it under the water to drown it. And then often after they've drowned it and it's dead, then you'll often find in crocodiles they aren't able to eat underwater. So what they do is they'll then pull off a piece, and they have to then come up, and then they'll swallow the food. The crocodile is what we call a gula flap, which is a flap in the back of their neck or their throat, and that stays open when they are, or when they do open their mouths. And so when a crocodile tries to eat underwater, the water will then just rush through that into the crocodile. Not the best for them, so that's why they always come out of the water to feed. Monica, it is cool. It's pretty amazing what we've just witnessed here. And you're asking if would two crocs work together to get a meal. It's not often that you'll find two crocodiles working together to get a carcass. I think these two might be fighting over this bird. I mean, maybe if like there was a crocodile that was killing something, it might look like, sure, it might look like they're helping one another, but they probably both are trying to take the carcass from one another. The taxi lady is saying if that's a vulture that's just been feeding, the croc is getting 2 for the price of 1. 100%. Work smarter, not harder. Kaylin, you wondering if when crocodiles sleep, do they sleep underwater or do they have their heads above the water? So crocodiles aren't able to breathe underwater, so they can often hold their breath for extended period of time, about 10 to 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And actually very interesting with crocodiles is that the scientists have found that crocodiles are actually able to sleep with half their brain. So they sleep with half their brain, the other half of their brain is still awake, and they're able to then keep a lookout on their surroundings. And then they're able to switch that up and then sleep with the other half of their brain. So still able to get all the necessary sleep, but always alert as to what's happening around them. Very interesting. Kellen, it is a very interesting sight to see. It's always amazing to see something very different. It's not something you'll always get to see. Hopefully this crocodile brings the bird to the other side of the reed so we're able to get a much better view. But I can still see some movement there. Does look a little bit strange with that bird's wing just out the water as the crocodile's moving it around. The other vultures must watch out. I mean, a bird also, it isn't a normal meal for a crocodile. I mean, you can imagine all those feathers and things like that. Lots of hard work. Maybe this crocodile is trying to get rid of some of those feathers before it then munches down. Marianne van Heerden asking if the crocodile will eat all the feathers. I don't believe that the crocodile will eat all the feathers. I'm sure that the crocodile is going to try and get rid of most of the feathers before it does then feed. But it'll be interesting throughout the show now to, I mean, if there is anything else exciting, we cross away from here, to keep an eye on this and see what does happen. But I would say that it would try and get rid of the feathers first. There was actually a reserve I used to work at, Pinder Private Game Reserve, up in northern KZN. There was a photo one of the rangers took of a crocodile that actually had a pangolin. And the crocodile played around with this pangolin for about 45 minutes. before it took the pangolin under, and the rangers then left the area. But I was just wondering and thinking, how on earth can a crocodile eat a pangolin? I mean, all those hardy scales, very sad for the pangolin. And the crocodile, I mean, very, very opportunistic. Just like any predator out in the African bush. I'm pretty sure this bird is dead. I mean, the bird, I haven't seen the head come up at all. It might be trying to flick away the feathers, maybe. But I have seen it before where a crocodile had a warthog kill. Talking of warthogs, there are a little family of warthogs there. And the crocodile literally played with it for like an hour. Eventually then started to feed on it. So maybe this crocodile was having a little bit of fun with its prey. Not 100% sure. You're wondering how long crocodiles live for? So crocodiles, they'll live for around about 50 to 60 years, which is quite some time. That being the Nile crocodile. I think the alligator is a little bit shorter. I think it's about 30 to 40 years. Jalebi is saying, hi Chad, is it true that crocs will stash a larger carcass underwater to allow it to get a little bit softer and then consumed later on? So I have seen a lot of the times crocodiles leaving their carcasses in the water, and I am pretty sure that it does then get a lot softer. Oh, there's an African jacana also. Just so that it does get a little bit softer, thus making it then easier to feed on. So, I mean, I don't think they can take it underwater because I think that carcass is just going to float, if I'm not mistaken. But they definitely do keep it in the water to get a little bit softer. And Taxi Lady is saying, do you think it's stuck somehow into the soft part of its mouth? Maybe its beak or feather. I don't think so. I think this crocodile is just holding on for dear life to that bird so that the other crocodile doesn't get it. Yeah, it will be interesting now if it Brings it to a more shallow area. Does maybe eat it. Maybe live at the waterhole today is just going to be live from Victoria Falls. No, don't go behind the tree, crocodile. No. Come back. Hopefully it pops out. Oh no. I think this crocodile might be behind these bushes still. Oh, there I can see some movement. And talking of predators and all that, and as we do follow this crocodile, why don't we have a look and see what happened at King's Camp? We have a special video for you. How beautiful is this? A pack of wild dogs coming down to King's Camp in the Timbavati to have a drink. Always very special to see wild dogs, especially quite a large pack like this. I don't believe this pack has a name, or nobody knows the name. And just such special animals, and to spend time with these dogs is something I really, really enjoy. Them being my favorite animal. Could spend all day with them. Quite a incredible thing. I mean, those wild dogs, they seemed like they were a little bit scared of something, and while I was at Juma, I actually spent 3 hours with a pack of wild dogs, and I thought at first, oh, they're scared of their reflection, and jumping away, maybe they think it's another pack of dogs. But it actually turned out that it was a piece of elephant dung that was floating in the water, and the wild dogs, I think they thought that it was a crocodile that was floating. I was working with Panda at the time, and I said to him, Panda, what's that? That looks like a crocodile. And we zoomed in, then it was a floating piece of elephant dung. The wild dogs, for 3 hours, they were very concerned as to what was happening. I'm hoping we are able to see that crocodile again. It has been moving up and down quite a lot, so maybe it brings the carcass back. We'll have to just wait and find out, I guess. There's a hooded vulture. I think the crocodile's moved a little bit further off to the right-hand side. Maybe it's just found a nice spot away from the other crocodile where it might just decide to feed by itself. There goes the other crocodile. Maybe it's going to take us to where the carcass is. Might be worth trying to follow that crocodile and see where it goes. We can see, I was going to say the marabou stork. I mean, marabou storks are also the bird that will literally feed on anything and everything. They'll feed on any scraps. So sometimes they will feed on waste, feed on dead carcasses, basically anything those marabou storks will feed on. We just had a quick link quickly to Rosy's pan, where we didn't want to miss the birds bathing, but it seems like as soon as we crossed, then they don't want to be seen on TV. I did see a blue waxbill, and there was another yellow bird. I wasn't 100%, I mean, sorry, pink bird. I wasn't 100% sure what it was, but it might have been one of the finches. There's one bird that's come back. Oh, two. There might be red-billed firefinches. Let's see a blue waxbill. They do look like red-billed firefinches. Always beautiful to see birds coming down to the water to have a bath. Seem like they are a little bit vulnerable. I think birds are always quite vulnerable when they do come down to the water. I mean, there could be a small hawk or buzzard that's close by that might prey on them. So they do often seem a little bit nervous. How beautiful is that? Coming down for a little bath. I mean, birds, they've got lots of different ways to bath. I mean, one in the water, they'll also dust bath to get themselves clean. But one very interesting one is the birds will sometimes do an ant bath. So often they'll go to like an ant's nest in the road and they'll spread their wings out and let the ants crawl on them and eat all the little parasites and things that are on them. And then they'll shake their feathers, get all the ants off, and then take off. It's quite phenomenal to see. Lucy, Crocodile, they do seem to be really enjoying the waterhole here. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. Also, they don't want to spend too much time staying still at the water. I mean, even if you think about swifts and swallows, when they come in down to drink, they don't sit on the side of the water and drink. They fly, and they'll come down and they'll then open their beak a little bit and just skim on top of the water and get their water like that. They don't want to be stationary around the water too long. And so you're saying you like the blue color? Smurf birds, kind of like a Smurf bird, indeed. Beautiful colors of the blue waxbill. The thing with birding is that you have to be quite quick. Birds that don't sit still for too long often can be a little bit annoying when you are birding. Because you'll see a bird and then you'll try and lift your binoculars up. As soon as you get your binos up, that bird will then fly away. Doesn't seem like there's too much else happening here at Rosy's Pan, at Willifunds Game Reserve. But you never know, things can change very quickly. Well, while we are here at Rosy's Pan, we've got another Africam clip of two beautiful scrub hares. Let's have a look, see what they were doing. You can see there that it is a often seen sighting, but it's still beautiful to see two scrub hares that are just grooming one another. Almost a little bit of allo grooming. Very similar to what Impalas will do. I clean you, you clean me. And it's so amazing to see this uninterrupted, because when you see a scrub hare, often you're driving and the scrub hares will then run away. So it's not something that you'll often get the chance to witness, but something like this, there's a camera, no humans around, they can do exactly what they want without any disturbance. Pretty special. Very special to see that. I actually remember my last live at the Waterhole before I went off to Juma we ended off here at Rosy's Pan with that beautiful big pride of lions that came down to the water with all their cubs. It was very, very special. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like too much else is happening here at Rosy's Pan. You had a beautiful time with those birds. Why don't we head over to Tau Lodge and see what's happening there? So welcome to Madikwe at Tau Lodge. We've got a dazzle of zebras that have come down to the water, and these zebras seem to be pretty brave today, going into the water like that. There was a crocodile. Could be quite a nice meal. I think a little bit better than that bird at Victoria Falls. 'Cause there has been a crocodile or two that I've seen in this waterhole here at Tower Lodge. But it does seem like the water's drying up quite a lot. This is exactly where we used to see that crocodile. I think there was somebody that told me that that crocodile had eggs somewhere around here. Oh, there's a crocodile. Is it a crocodile? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, maybe we'll see it. Oh, the grey heron is moving away. Much, much smaller compared to that one at Victoria Falls. So, I mean, this crocodile would most likely go for smaller fishes. It might be in the what? Oh, there's 3 crocodiles. Oh, you get something. Just saw the mouth open, close very, very quickly. Oh, that grey heron is in danger. Run away! Joanne Miller is saying, you like Crocs, Chad? They are so misunderstood. I also really do enjoy crocodile. Oh, a crocodile might have got something there also. And we're joined by a beautiful elephant bull in the back there. Seems like there's lots of action happening down at the waterholes this afternoon. Oh, did you see the fish jump there? These crocodiles are going after the fish. I saw a fish jump for its life. I think that crocodile behind the grey heron might have got something. You just see it moving quite a lot. Very tough to see. Such a beautiful scene also. Crocodiles that are hunting, impalas, grey heron, wildebeest, beautiful big elephant bull. Elephant bull's actually got also quite impressive tusks. One's quite a lot longer compared to the other one. Oh, and some springbok. I've come down to join the party, and it's the first time I've actually seen springbok here at Madikwe. How special. Springbok, watch out, there's 3 crocodiles there. Not too sure these crocodiles are big enough in order to take down one of those springboks. But you never know. Sometimes you'll find predators will go after anything that they can, even if it's a little bit extreme. I've seen one time before a young female leopard hunting a massive kudu bull, and being very inexperienced, I think she was just taking the opportunity maybe to practice. This crocodile seems to be now making a move away from where the other crocodiles were. I think all the fish might have moved away. There was quite a lot of movement around there. So let's see, maybe we'll see. I literally saw one of the fish jump earlier away from the crocodile. So, oh, can you foster? Oh! Sure, lots of action happening. Joanne Miller, you're saying they're not as big as the Nile crocodile, are they? So these are Nile crocodiles. They're just younger Nile crocodiles. So they will indeed grow much, much bigger. They are, in fact, the Nile crocodile. Julie B, it is wonderful to see so many different species. I mean, yeah, at Tower Lodge, always there's lots and lots of different species around. Lots of birds. I mean, we've had elephants, zebra, wildebeest, impala, springbuck. So very, very beautiful to see. Lucy Kohodi, you're asking if there are buffaloes at Tower Lodge. There are indeed. So Tower Lodge is situated in Matikwe Private Game Reserve, and they are a Big Five reserve that do also have cheetah and wild dogs. So you can see buffaloes. I haven't seen buffaloes at Tower Lodge, but I have seen them at Jamala before. But you would indeed get them around here. Oh, how beautiful is that? Nice big herd of elephants coming down to the water to drink. And that's incredible. Joan Miller, they will go to different waterholes when they do get bigger. I mean, for now, they've probably all been spending time within this waterhole, but as soon as they do get much bigger, they're probably going to need a bigger food source and also much deeper water, so they will then move around. I mean, crocodiles, a lot of people don't think that they are able to move around on land, but they can move huge distances. Oh, there's another species, the waterbuck. So, I mean, they will, when they do grow bigger, they will move. Pretty spectacular herd of elephants there. And the first hour has flown by of Live at the Waterhole. It's been jam-packed, lots and lots of action. Just a reminder that this is live and interactive, so please do send through your questions and comments using the hashtag WildEarth on X. or you can join the conversation on our YouTube channel. If you would like to, you can download the WildEarth app in any of the app stores. Kellen, you're saying it must be so relaxing here. I can only imagine how relaxing it must be to be at Tower Lodge and have this as your view. I mean, first thing in the morning, jumping on a vehicle and going exploring, looking for animals. But then when you get back, relaxing at the lodge, having your brunch, having all these wonderful animals walking by, must be pretty spectacular. Seems like all the crocodiles have now gone their own way. You can just still see one. It's off to the right of the picture. The others seem to have wandered off. Maybe to go see if they can find anything to eat. I mean, this crocodile is a decent size, but definitely not as big as that one that we first were with at Victoria Falls. I mean, that crocodile is probably, I'd say, over 2 meters. Let's see if this crocodile goes to manage to successfully catch anything here. And I can only imagine that there must be lots of food available to these crocodiles, being so many here. And also with all the birds and aquatic life that is around, I'm sure there's lots and lots of food available to them. I mean, if there wasn't, they probably would have moved away from this waterhole already. And a lot of the time, the best thing for a crocodile to do is to ambush the prey. So sometimes if they're looking for something big like an antelope, what they'll do is they'll go find a spot close to the edge of the water where they can submerge themselves fully, and they'll literally just wait there patiently. And when that antelope comes down to drink and it's the perfect opportunity, they'll then go for them. Oh, lots of action there. I think it was unsuccessful though. I think that crocodile needs to go for something a little bit bigger than a fish that might be in this little water hole. Sure. The mouth of this crocodile is open. Did it manage to get something? Another crocodile came out of nowhere. And if you think about it, to steal food might be a little bit easier than exerting all the energy to catch something. Maybe that crocodile is trying to come to catch something, to scavenge. Let's see what happens. I think it does have something in its mouth. Could be a three-way battle here. Now these crocodiles are much bigger than the ones we first saw 5 or 10 minutes ago. It's always amazing. I mean, sometimes you can think, oh, there's only 1 or 2 crocodiles or maybe none, and then all of a sudden the crocodiles come out of nowhere. And I mean, we've probably seen 5 or 6 crocodiles in a small little body of water. Jack, so you're wondering if a crocodile would kill prey on its journey to another waterhole. So, Jack, so I mean, being a crocodile, they are very, very opportunistic, just like other animals. I mean, lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, things like that. So, I definitely think that a crocodile would kill something out of the water and probably then drag it to a waterhole where it feels a little bit more comfortable. But I think the prey is going to have the upper hand on the crocodile. Even though that crocodile can run quite quickly on land, I think the prey will have the upper hand for sure, being able to run away. But if the opportunity arises, for sure, it will definitely go for it. It's been a very, very entertaining live at the Waterhole, very full of action. A lot of people think that during the heat of the day there's not too much that happens, but today we've proved all of them wrong. Lots of action happening. I mean, it's basically all been around the crocodiles. Crocodiles at Victoria Falls, and now crocodile here at Tower Lodge. Not just one, many. Seems like all these crocodiles are trying to find something to eat in this small little puddle of water here, and it does seem like the waterhole is drying up quite a lot. I don't think Madikwe's had too much rain in the last little while. Hopefully there is some last minute thunder showers or storms that do go past Madikwe. It was nice to see that there was quite a bit of rain when I was up at Juma. The grass was already starting to die, but Madikwe is also in quite an arid area where it is a very, very dry climate. They don't receive huge amounts of rainfall like you would in the low veld, but every little drop does count. Yeah, we've had some incredible time here with these crocodiles, moving and grooving at Tower Lodge. Why don't we head back over to Victoria Falls and see what's happening there? Apologies, not Victoria Falls, Lisbon Falls. Trust Falls. How beautiful is that? The rainbow and all the water. Apologies, we do seem to have lost the falls there, but we are now just having a look at King's Camp in the Timbavati, just to see if there's anything that might be coming down to the water. It's also a beautiful waterhole setting. Now there's actually a terrapin. I was just having a quick scan around the waterhole, see if there was anything of interest, and that little terrapin caught my eye. Just sunbathing on that fallen over log. Just a reminder to everybody about the petition and donation. So during the town hall on Sunday about WildEarth's situation and the news that MultiChoice has not agreed to pay WildEarth for being on DSTV and sharing African stories with the world, a viewer has started a petition to appeal to MultiChoice to change their minds. And we, of course, are all supporting and behind this initiative. So I want to ask you to help spread the word around this petition, as well as our donation drive throughout your communities. Your support in this will be a great value in making it possible to continue sharing Africa's wildlife with the world, wherever you may be. And we're needing 10,000 signatures on the petition. I think we're just over halfway. So it's fantastic. I mean, it was only launched on Sunday. So hopefully in the next 3 or 4 days, we are able to get 10,000 or 5,000 more signatures. And then we're also looking for 130,000 US dollars for donations to keep us up and running. And any cent does count, so it would be much appreciated. And if you would like to donate, you can head over to wildearth.tv/donate. And you can follow the links, and it will help you get to where you need to be. And even the smallest little donation will go a long way, and everybody from the WildEarth family will be very, very much appreciated on your side. We want to keep bringing you these wonderful shows that we have at the moment from all over the world. Live at the Waterhole being one of them. And to have all the different locations in Zimbabwe, Namibia, South Africa, all over. Would be very sad to see it go. The Terrapin seems like it's having the greatest day. Sitting on that little fallen over branch, trying to gain some energy from the sun. Zane, you're saying you'd love to see it climb. It is quite remarkable. I mean, having a look where this Terrapin is, you think, how on earth did that Terrapin get up there? But they've got very, very sharp claws that they use to climb up onto little fallen over trees like this. So, I mean, only if this Terrapin is in like immediate danger will it then climb down. We'd have to wait a little while to maybe see it climb back up, but it is quite special to see. Apologies for that. We do seem to have lost King's Camp, and we are back at Rosy's Pan, at Oliphant's Game Reserve. And we had a little bird party that was bathing a little bit earlier on. And here, lots of birds. Can't see any of them coming down towards the waterhole for a bath or even just a drink. It is also sometimes quite nice just to enjoy the sounds of the bush. There's always something to look at. The bush does seem like it is starting to dry up quite significantly, pretty much all over. I'm just having a look at all the trees around here at Rosy's Pan. It seems like they are drying up and starting to turn that orangey yellow color as we're going into the autumn months. It's going to start to get a little bit colder, which is a great thing to be out in the bush, because then the animals tend to be active a little bit longer. Oh, we do have a visitor, an Impala. Oh, I was going to say just one lonely male impala, but a beautiful herd of impalas, and it's a great time of year to be out in the African bush because it's coming up to the rutting season. And so the rutting season is when all the impala males will start fighting to have their own harem, or to roam their own harem. These impalas, they'll all go into estrus around April time, so literally within the next couple of days is when they'll be in estrus, and then the males will all mate with them. So you want to be already having your own little harem, so that you're able to then mate with the impalas and have your own little impala running around. Kate, you're saying that they look rather nervous. Could there be a crocodile in there? There definitely could be a crocodile in the water, but I mean, also, Kate, you never know what's walked past this area. I mean, the wind is blowing quite a lot here at Rosy's pan, so there could be a predator in the area or in the vicinity, and they might be picking up the scent of that predator. But a lot of the animals are always nervous when they come down to the water to drink. And they are quite vulnerable. They've always got their heads down, drinking. They can't see what's coming behind them. So it is normal for animals to be nervous. But I'm sure there is something, or a predator of sorts somewhere around here. There's always a predator around. It's just a matter of finding it. And there definitely could be a crocodile in this waterhole. I haven't personally seen a crocodile in the water as of yet. I mean, there was a stage where there was one lonely male hippo that spent quite a bit of time in this waterhole here, and it might have been a hippo that got kicked out of a pod. Often what will happen when a young male hippo does start to grow bigger, he starts to become a little bit of a threat to the dominant male of that hippo pod. And so the dominant male will then kick him out, and he'll have to then go try and start his own pod, go and find his own waterhole. Here's a bit of a bird party that's come down. Another terrapin. Look how that terrapin's sitting on that rock. How on earth did it get up there? Finding the most ridiculous places, these terrapins these days. It's not a rock, I promise. Almost looks like this terrapin's stuck. Was walking. I think if it does go a little bit further up, it might be on a bit of a pivot. It might be tough for it to then get down. And so it does indeed look very, very proud of its spot there. I would also be proud if I was a terrapin and was able to climb up onto a rock of that sort there. When I was a kid, we used to play a game called King of the Castle, or King of the Steps, where if you were the one on top of the steps, you had to push everybody off the top of the stairs. And I think if there was another terrapin that had to try and come onto this rock, this terrapin definitely would not allow it. Lenny, thanks very much for the kind words. You're saying really enjoyed Chad's description of things. I'm glad you do enjoy my descriptions. We've got to make it entertaining as possible, I guess. Oh, there, this terrapin now. Sure, it does look like it might be stuck. I know that can get its big leg down. I think it's just got to make a dive for it. Do a bomb. As it jumps, tuck its legs in, tuck its head in, and just go with it. And so you're asking if did it just yawn? I think it did yawn a little bit earlier on. Almost seemed like it did have a yawn. So maybe it does look like it might be a little bit stuck. Oh, there we go. Nice to see that it isn't stuck. Just want to see this little terrapin do a bomb into the water. I'm not the only one that's wanting it to go into the water. Jilly B is saying you're waiting in suspense for the terrapin to do a swan dive. Jilly B is saying that the terrapin shell acts like a heat sink to absorb the sunshine. It definitely does, for sure. And as soon as that shell then heats up, then it's able to heat up the whole body of that terrapin. Oh, there we go. It actually made it look very, very cool, calm, and collected, that little dive. And it knew exactly what it was doing. And so you were saying it's going to jump any day now. And it did just jump into the water there. It's like a golden-breasted bunting and a starling that's come down to the water. We do only have about 10 minutes left of live at the Waterhole. So please do send through your last questions and comments, and if you've enjoyed the last 2 hours. I think it's been quite an exciting show. We've had lots and lots of action with all the crocodiles starting out with all the vultures. Hill, you saying Chad, is it a dog? Hill, I'm not too sure what you are referring to. I'm not too sure what you're asking if it is a dog. I don't know if you can maybe send through another comment or question explaining, just so I can maybe then answer your question for you. It's been a nice and peaceful ending towards this live at the Waterhole after all the action that we started off with. Let's see in the last 5 minutes or so if we can get something special that comes down. So I think let's head over to Narrated and see what's happening there. Herd of Impalas that female, she's trying her best to get the water from the well. I mean, often when we see elephants coming down to this waterhole here at Narrated, they always drink from the well, where it's much fresher, cleaner water. You see the Impalas trying their luck there, because, I mean, I would also try and drink from that well instead of the dirty, muddy water. New Quebec, you're saying, thanks Chad, always nice having you at the waterhole. It's only my pleasure. Thank you very much for the kind words. I do appreciate it. And I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Kaylin, you're saying such an amazing time to wind down and relax. I do appreciate that. It's always nice to have a nice relaxing time at the waterhole. Julie B, it's my pleasure. So thank you so much, Chad. Been fascinating at all the various water holes today. Lovely to hear your chuckles again. I'm very glad you've enjoyed hearing my chuckles once again. Females basically extending her neck in order to get to the freshest water there in the well, because that well will often overflow and then fill up the rest of the water hole. I mean, you can see it's much cleaner. That's why those elephants go there. Okay, everybody, it is starting to get to the end of the show, so thanks once again to everybody for tuning in and watching. I do appreciate that. And do stay tuned, because On Safari is next with Amy, and then the live safari just after that. So you are in for a treat for sure. But thanks once again, and hopefully I will see everybody soon. But for now, goodbye.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. My name is Amy and behind the camera today with me is Impala. And this is the show where we discuss the highlights of the last 24 hours. This is On Safari.